Hello and welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr., certified life coach, host, and host of many other things. And I'm bringing on somebody that I think is a very important conversation. So please sit down, relax, grab something to drink, whatever. We're going to see. We're going to talk about his ordeal with the virus that's going around. And we're going to talk about his life before, during, and what's he up to now. And I'm just so happy to have him on here. Managing partner at DOMO Real Estate in Manhattan Beach, which I'm over there all the time. That's one of my areas I'm at all the time. Listing specialist. Greg Geilman. Hi, Greg.
Hey, James. How you doing?
I'm good. I am
Thanks for
happy
having
on
me.
the show. I mean, I've been following you for a while, even before all this stuff going on, and I'm in Manhattan Beach all the time. I mean, I'm in the sand section all the time. I have clients there, family over there. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Doesn't suck, that's for sure.
Not at all. So whenever I have clients over, I'm not gonna say her address, of course, but she's not far from where your office is. And I'm always like, okay, after I leave you, I'm gonna go walk right on down and go. I touch the sand. I have to. I got to touch the sand. And I got to do that. I love it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do that these days. They've closed the Strand and closed the beaches. You get $1,000 fine if you're caught down there. So
I know. Well, I'm going there now. I'm fine, but I have touched it many times. I'm not far from you. I'm over in Inglewood. So we're all South Bay folks, local area. Are you from the South Bay?
I grew up in Woodland Hills, but met a girl and moved down to the South Bay, and the rest is history.
Left the valley and came on in. Let's say the valley came on and came down here. What do you like about the South Bay?
Oh man, I'm here for life. It's such a wonderful place. I'll sometimes go on vacation to really nice places and then come home and be like, why did I even go? It's just so nice here.
I agree. I love it. I lived other places. I've came back 11 years ago. Took over the house that I grew up in here in Inglewood, and I was like, I'm not leaving. I think I like this. I think I'm going. And like today, it's nice and hot and sunny, and I'm like, why am I gonna go anywhere?
Yeah, if you have to quarantine somewhere, Manhattan Beach is not a bad place to have to do it.
Right on. Well, I want to talk to you about your life before. We're going to kind of take a little timeline, and I want to find out from you, because you've done a lot of interviews. I mean, I just want to applaud you for sharing your journey, because I mean, some people get really scared with that. They don't want to talk about it. They want to hide. You were out there putting that face out there to it, and I just want to applaud you for that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your life before, and so what was a typical day like for you? I mean, like let's say during the week, like what was a typical day like for you?
Yeah, good question. I'd get up in the morning, make myself a smoothie, hop in the car and get to the gym before work. And then I would get to the office 9 or 10 o'clock. And, I work in real estate. I run a small team of agents here in the South Bay. So, being there at 7 or 8 o'clock is not a requirement.
Right.
And we're often working till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So and then just work, and I don't cook at home a lot, so often I would be eating lunch and dinner out of the home at restaurants, which
The Kettle. I love the Kettle. My place. Love that place.
Yeah, that place is actually still open. You can't obviously sit inside, but you can get food to go.
That's good to know. I like the Kettle.
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I lived an active lifestyle. I would often start my day with a walk on the Strand, listening to a podcast or a Audible book or something like that.
So you are an active guy. So you're pretty healthy for the most part.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you susceptible to getting allergies or sick? Were you those kind of people? Or are you kind of people who stayed pretty healthy most of the time?
Yeah, I mean, once or twice a season, I would get the cold or the flu. So it's not like I have this like amazing, strong immune system. But as far as I don't have any allergies that I know of, and relatively healthy. I eat a pescatarian diet for the most part. So vegetarian, a lot of meals, and relatively healthy as far as my diet goes and my activity goes. So.
How ironic that you're a pescatarian and live near the beach. That's kind of how it works for someone. Okay, so those who don't know what pescatarian is, please explain what your definition of pescatarian is. I know what it is, but I'm just curious what your definition is.
Oh, it just means that I'm a vegetarian, plus I also eat seafood. So and this has actually changed a little bit since getting sick, I opened my diet up to a little bit more, just a little bit more stuff. But for the most part, I don't eat red meat or chicken or any of that stuff. Just vegetarian and seafood.
What did you add and why?
People were so nice when this all came down, and they were dropping food off at my doorstep, and I didn't want to be wasteful. So occasionally I found myself eating turkey chili or eating some chicken soup or matzo ball soup or something like that. So
Okay.
Opened up my diet a little bit there.
So it was like you went straight to steak. It was like you're like, okay, I went down with a beef stew. It wasn't like that.
It wasn't like, yeah. I'm not eating what's the all meat diet. No.
Yeah. So how, and that's very nice of people, obviously, to do that. I saw that on there were people doing that. But what was it like to eat things that you haven't eaten in a long time? I'm sure you've had them before, clearly. You've had chicken before and stuff. But like, what was it like to eat that? What was your system like when you were eating that?
Yeah, not a problem. I have kind of a strong constitution, strong stomach. You might think that it would give me stomach ache or something like that, but it didn't at all.
That's very cool. Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah. Also, when I get sick, when I get the flu or a cold, I tend to lose weight pretty quickly. I know a lot of people would probably love that coronavirus diet, but I actually have the opposite problem. I try to keep weight on. So eating more kind of heavier meals was able to help me put on some weight. I think I lost about 15 pounds pretty quickly, and then I gained it back. So I'm back to my
feed a cold. But see, the thing is, I always tell people all the time, there's like, I always get sick and I lose weight. I'm like, but it's not the good kind of losing weight. So it's like, once you feel better, you're naturally going to gain it back. I mean, it's like, it's not like you worked out and ate, it's cute, but it's not cute at all. So I know what you mean. But I feel like I'm always about feeding a cold. I'm always about that. Feed it, keep it going. You need the nutrients. You need the iron, protein, whatever is in the stuff to help your.
Yeah, there's my appetite for a little bit in the beginning. So I just let that ride and figured I'd be okay with it.
Well, that's right. So I don't get colds and flus very often. I've been very fortunate with that. I don't. I get big items. Like I had Bell's palsy a couple of years ago. I get the big things. I don't get anything small. Like I get the big stuff. But I know that I'm always going into every flu season. I'm always very cautious and careful out there, and just I'm aware. So I stock up on the stuff just in case I need it. I'm a very natural remedies kind of person. I do a lot of teas and things. So I'm always kind of like, okay, just in case it's coming, I like to make sure I have something ready for that. All right, so you're a pretty healthy guy. For the most part, you're a healthy guy. You're an average guy, pretty healthy. You work out and stuff. When did this, COVID-19 virus, when did it enter your life? Like, how do you remember when you first were aware of it for yourself?
You mean before I got sick?
Yes, before you got sick.
Yeah, I mean, the world seemed to be pretty rapidly changing in early March. People were talking about it. People were stocking up. I think they were talking about having to maybe, not be able to get supplies from the stores. And so I did a little bit of that, I would say around March 12, 13, 14, something like that. I made sure that my freezer was stocked and that I had food and stuff. I live alone, so wanted to make sure. And I like I said, I eat out a lot, so I don't cook at home a lot. That's changed, obviously. But on March 18th, I got sick and woke up with flu-like symptoms. So I think probably a week before that, I'd really been thinking that coronavirus was a thing that was going to probably hit the South Bay. Whereas before it was just like, that was something other people were dealing with. That was something that was overseas in other countries.
It's funny because I went around March 15th or 16th, I went to the Target over on Manhattan Beach Boulevard in Sepulveda. That's my favorite Target I go to. And there was no toilet paper or paper towels. It was the craziest thing. And I was like, I had heard about it. Remember you hearing about it? And people were posting videos on Instagram. Oh my God, I'm like, yeah, whatever. My sister and I, we went through, and if you live over, there's a back way and there's a front way. So we went through the back way, which actually you lead right into that section of the store. And I did take a video. It was eerie. It was like, this is really eerie. Like, I'd never seen this before. And I've been to third world countries. I've been to other places. It felt weird in America to see that. And I found, just sitting there in the middle of, like, it was like an art piece, in the middle of all this emptiness, a pack of wipes. Like, did they run and drop it by accident? I grabbed those wipes and took them home with me and used them. But it was kind of funny. It was like, it was the weirdest thing at a Target I go to all the time, and everything else was still stocked. It was just like all of that was gone. It was very strange. That's when it really hit me. Then the next day it was like shut down. I work in Hollywood. Everything was shut down for the next couple of days. It was kind of weird. So yeah, it's kind of a strange thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're aware that this could come to LA, South Bay area. You start feeling sick. What was it like in the beginning for you? Were you thinking you just got a cold? Did you think maybe it's time for a flu? Like, what was your beginning thoughts? Got it.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning thoughts were, I mean, I definitely, when I woke up on the morning of the 18th, it wasn't just a little bit of symptoms. It was, a full set of symptoms, and they weren't subtle. It was like I definitely had something. And I guess that's good. That meant that was my alert that I'm not going out of the house and I'm not going and, rubbing up against people. So not that I was before, but, yeah, I mean, my main symptoms were, kind of body aches and chills. My skin was real sensitive, like you get in the flu. I had, some headache, at night. I would get like blurry vision, which was really weird. Not massively blurry, but I could tell
Did
that.
you wear glasses or contacts or no?
No, I
Wow.
don't.
You're lucky.
Well, I've had a couple
right here, but you're lucky.
Yeah, I had the whatever it's called, the LASIK surgery.
Oh, you did? Okay. So,
Yeah.
so for you, that your eyes are getting blurry. Going, okay, wait a minute. I had LASIK. Why am I? My eyes are getting blurry. So that's
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was because I was sick of some sort. So, and then like the worst, most uncomfortable symptom that I experienced was night sweats and chills. So a couple nights, I just had I woke up in a pool of sweat and was hot and cold, and that was really uncomfortable. That all lasted about 4 days, 3.5, 4 days.
So I want to stop there. So the first 4 days were very intense for you. Because I want people, because I have friends who just don't get it, and I want people to get this. So this is not fun or cute. This is like really serious. It's a lot of being, like you said, uncomfortable and your pain. So you said your skin was sensitive. So kind of explain like to the touch. Like you touched something, it was like, was it on fire? Like what was kind of insensitive?
Yeah, it wasn't hot or on fire. It was just, when I don't know if you've gotten that experience before, but when you get the flu or a cold, it's just like really sensitive to the touch and uncomfortable. And I don't know if it's like temperature regulated or what causes it, but and I guess I just want to say, like, my experience is only my experience. I've talked to so many other people since then, and everyone's had a different, not everybody's had the same thing. So I've talked to some people who tested positive for coronavirus and they've had symptoms straight for 4 weeks. I've talked to other people who didn't barely have any symptoms at all. If you have a loss of sense of smell, that's a real telltale sign that you don't have a cold or a flu, you have the coronavirus. So anyway, I don't know if I said, but I decided I couldn't get tested. There wasn't a whole lot of availability back then. And so I decided to ask my doctor if he could test me for influenza. And so I went in and tested negative for influenza A and influenza B. And that's when it became pretty clear that what I was dealing with, was probably coronavirus.
But I want to know, because you said you're also in your body sore. So how did you handle, because you live alone, you don't have a benefit of a partner or a roommate or whatever. How did you handle the night sweats, the cold stuff? You have to like change clothes or get out of clothes. And I mean, how'd you handle that if you were like you were sore at the same time?
Yeah, I guess I just manned up and did it. I mean, I'm a wimp usually when it comes to getting sick. I don't know, everyone jokes with me. I guess it's called the dreaded man flu, but I definitely get that. I want to be like taken care of and called when I get sick. So, but I didn't have that option. So I just kind of manned up. And as far as like the night sweats go, I just kind of suffered through it. I didn't get up or change clothes. I just sort of rolled over to the dry side of the bed and then woke up in a pool of sweat there and then moved over. And yeah, the next morning got up and did laundry.
Wow, that's amazing. So the first 4 days were a little tough. They were kind of tough. And you had the wherewithal to, you said, first talk to your doctor, do that kind of stuff. But you said, I'm going to stay home. You decided, I'm not going to try to be out with nobody come over. You were like clearly self-quarantine.
Yeah, I'd been quarantining at that point for, 4 or 5 days. That's what people, they were saying, stay at home, don't interact with people. It's contagious before you have symptoms. So I was doing that.
Do you think you know where you got it?
No idea. Absolutely no clue. It's a great question. A lot of people ask me that, and it's nearly impossible to tell because someone can have it for 2 to 14 days, is what I've heard, before getting any symptoms at all. So I could have gotten it at the gym. I could have gotten it at Trader Joe's. Like my dad could have given it to me. I could have given it to my dad. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why I say this. I want to ask because people, some of us who are active, as I said before, you're an active guy. You go to the gym, you work at a job, you're showing clients. I mean, like, it could be anywhere. This could be anywhere. So then you're home, so you start to feel a little better. Because I was watching your videos. What made you decide to document your journey? What made you say, okay, I'm going to document my journey? Because I did it with my Bell's palsy. I documented my journey. Someone told me you should, James. You have a platform, people know who you are, you should do it. What made you decide to do it?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not really an in front of the camera kind of guy. I'm a little bit, shy at heart. But it kind of went viral, the first few videos I did.
I know it did.
But I decided to do it for 2 reasons. The selfish reason was because, once I got my results back that I was positive, my phone was ringing off the hook, which is a great problem to have. There's a lot of people in my life that love me and care about me, but they were asking the same questions. So I would literally hang up the phone for a half hour with one person. I'd get on the phone with the next person and have the same conversation. So I wanted to just sort of put out a video where I answered some of the common questions. And the second reason, so the first reason, there just wasn't enough time in the day to field all these questions. And then the second reason was, it seemed like there was a very serious lack of good information out there. People were claiming this and claiming that and claiming this. And so I just wanted to share my experience, really to calm some of the panic and fear that seemed to be out in the world about coronavirus. I don't know, it seemed like people were almost acting as if you get the virus, you're going to die. And to be honest with you, I didn't really know how bad it was going to get. I didn't really know, because I was right in the middle of it, going through it. I didn't know if this was going to be my last video I ever did, or if this was just, part of my process. So I figured I would document it. And especially because I was able to donate my blood to this a research firm down in San Diego that was doing antibody tests. I wanted to document that as well and let people know that, in these early stages that, I was using my body for research, I guess, or for science.
And they came to your house, didn't they? They came to your house.
They did. Yeah, they sent a mobile phlebotomist to my house that was all dressed in kind of hazmat suit, and they stuck me and took a few vials of blood and drove it down to San Diego on ice. And a few days later, I had my results, and I had low levels of antibodies in my blood.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So now you're going through it again. You're feeling a little bit like day 5, 6, 7, feeling a little better. But did it come back for you? I know some people said it came back again on a different level. Did it come back for you again?
Yeah. So it never really went away. And I felt sick, kind of the same level of sick after the first 4 or 5 days of more intense symptoms. I felt just a general kind of fatigue and cough and slightly labored breathing. It was very easy for me to kind of wear myself out, even just doing an interview like this, or being on the phone talking with some clients for too long, or if I don't get up and make myself some juice or eat something, I was noticing that I was wearing out really easily. And that lasted for another 15 days, 2 weeks. So in my opinion, this virus commands a lot of respect. And when you think that you're better, you're probably not. You need to take it easy and really slowly reintegrate back into regular active lifestyle. And really, I had to like listen to my body more than I normally do.
That's an important thing, period. It's when we go through things, something like this, a major body thing, that's the lesson we should all know anyway. So anybody out there who's not sick, listen to your body anyway. Like you should listen to our bodies. Isn't it funny? Our bodies are telling us, "Hi, I'm here." I'm when somebody start giving you signs of things, and a lot of times we brush it off, shoot it to the side, don't pay attention to it until it becomes something big. And that's the lesson I think of always is to listen to your body.
Yeah, it's so easy to fall into panic and fear, and that's really useful when you're in the jungle and you're running from a tiger. But when you're at home watching the news all day long and panicking but not expelling all that adrenaline and endorphins, it has the opposite effect. So
I'm going to ask you, Greg, did you watch during this time period when you were just like well enough, when you were you're going through well enough, did you watch the news? Did you do research on your phone? Were you looking up stuff while you were going through it?
Yeah, I don't watch the news. I have a television, but I don't have I cut the cable years ago, so I just have internet and Apple TV and stuff, Netflix. But I do get the news kind of through my friends and through honestly like Facebook.
I get it. I get it. Yes.
Yeah. So no, I try not to ingest too much of that because I wanted to have my own experience. I didn't want to be naive or living under a rock. So I did, research stuff as needed, but I wanted to just have my own experience with it.
Did you find anything in terms of your diet? You said you added some extra diet. Did you find anything else to take that helped you get better, you think? Was there anything you did that made you feel get better? Any foods or drinks or?
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot of nutrients and supplements and drank lots and lots of fluids. Man, I can't stress enough how important I think it was for me to just drink a lot of fluids, especially because, you have a fever during this process. So my fever never got higher than 102, and it usually wasn't higher than 101. Okay. But it was super responsive to Tylenol. So I had Tylenol in hand, and, I would have a 101.4 fever, and then I would take 2 Tylenol, and 45 minutes later, it was down to like, 98.
Okay. That's good.
As far as other stuff that I ate or drank, I mean, people were dropping off fresh squeezed juices to my house, which was awesome. I love those. I was getting a lot of good nutrients, and not having to eat a ton of food. I was drinking tea, lemon, like hot, warm lemon water was good for me. I don't know if there's any scientific proof behind any of what I just said, but it felt good.
No, I just wonder if there's anything that, sometimes there are things that do help, along. You never know. We never know.
Yeah, I went and got a intravenous of like vitamin C and other like an immune boosting IV. It didn't seem to help.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Your business, the same time is going on. So you're one of the managing partners. So are you guys doing mostly virtual stuff now? Like, what's going on with your business in terms of real estate?
Yeah, so it's been quite a roller coaster as far as whether, it's been on and then off and then on again as far as whether or not real estate is considered an essential business and then how we're allowed to practice it. But for now and for the foreseeable future, the county has aligned its understanding with the state, and we are allowed to show properties, whether they're vacant or occupied. The occupied properties, obviously the sellers can't be there. They're usually not anyway when we show property. Right. And only 2 people plus an agent are allowed in the property at any given time. Those 2 people have to be from the same household. It can't be like 2 separate clients. Right. And everyone's supposed to wear a mask and gloves and maintain social distancing and not touch anything. And the listing agent's responsible for sort of cleaning up and closing down after they leave. as far as, how it's affected our business, there's absolutely people still out there. We've received offers on properties that we have listed as recently as yesterday and the day before, and we had 3 offers on a property in Torrance that we listed. So I think prices are probably going to come down. It seems like buyers are now aware of the fact that they're in a different kind of market than we were 6 or 9 months ago. And I think a lot of people, the sense of urgency is gone. So there's a bit of a pause going on. But I think we're going to see in 2 or 3 months what's happening now. It's hard to kind of see when you're in it.
Yeah, I have friends who do real estate, and they're saying, people are still buying. I have a friend who just bought a house. He still bought a house. He was in the middle of it when it hit, and he just closed. And so here somewhere here in South Bay, somewhere I forgot where. So I know people are still looking, and we're saying there's safe ways to do it. Like you just explained, there are safe ways to do it. But I was just trying to figure out, I guess, if I remember correctly, movers are still essential, right? I think movers are still essential.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Another thing. So, okay. So then when did you know or feel that you were actually on the mend?
Yeah, about 21 days, 22 days after initially getting sick, I was able to go out a couple times. I went on some short walks. I wanted to really stay, because I went so public with it. If I would have gone into Trader Joe's on day 14, I think I would have been hung.
Yeah.
So I wanted to stay inside for a full 25 days. So from day 21 to 25, at like 11 o'clock at night when no one was around, I'd go on a short 5-minute walk outside, and it felt like I was getting out of jail. It was nice. But after 25 days, I felt really good. And then a week later, I felt, perfect, 100%. And now I think it's been a couple weeks even since then. And I feel great. I'm actually, ready to help other people and do grocery shopping for folks and help.
You are, no, I mean, you're right about this thing, commanding your, our respect. Is that, you're talking, you said 15 days at one point, 21 days. These are long periods. So I imagine you have to learn to be moment to moment, I guess, in your life. It's kind of like just put one foot in front of the other, like just like you're going from minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, I guess, at some point, living with it.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that the whole entire world is on pause. I think I would have a harder time mentally being quarantined if I knew that, everyone was still out there like doing their thing and I was stuck here. But so it feels, a little bit like I'm not so alone. But yeah, I think it's a good lesson for life in general that, I've actually, don't tell anyone, but I've actually kind of enjoyed this pause a little bit.
No one's going to watch this. No one's going to see this at all. I mean, it's just between us. It's between us.
Yeah, it'll be good to get back to whatever normal looks like. I can't wait to go into a restaurant and, people watch and sit down. And but I think it's going to be a long time before we're able to do that. But I've also enjoyed being able to explore other parts of my life that I wouldn't have been otherwise able to do.
So I want to ask you, so you've been doing interviews, and I've seen you. You were on CNN at one point, right? You did that too, didn't you?
Yeah, CNN reached out to me and asked me if I'd submit a question for Joe Biden on the town hall.
So how'd that feel?
At first I said no. And then I asked a few friends of mine, do you have any questions you want to submit to Joe Biden? I'm not going to do it. And they gave me their questions and I didn't really like any of them. So I came up with my own and I'm just trying to say yes to life right now. I don't know, some people would say, being public about my coronavirus diagnosis was a bad thing, like it's going to affect our business negatively and people aren't going to want to be around us and people aren't going to want to use us, and it had, I think, the opposite effect. Like people really appreciate my dedication to getting good information out there, and I actually have an opportunity to communicate to people like how important it is to stay safe before getting back integrated into the real world. So I think people appreciated that, and luckily, knock on wood, we have a good enough business to where I don't think that that decision whether to go public or not is going to have an impact to, positive or negative.
Well, sometimes the greater good takes precedence over the smaller things. I mean, it's kind of like, what you show me and other people is that we are a community. And I think we lose some of that because what's happening to them, not to me. I don't know anybody who has it. I mean, I was like, I know somebody who has it. So I was like, that kind of brought it closer, and that you're showing us that sometimes you got to speak out. You got to do stuff because it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, it frustrated me when I saw some people that I know on social media actually posting, just some crazy stuff. Like they, think that this is a fake news, and they think that it's, I have 2,000 friends on Facebook, and I don't know anyone who has it. And then several people were like, yeah, I think you do.
I think you do. Hello. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's good. But I think that, when your intentions are good things will come back to you.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, but to kind of wrap this up, so you're doing fine now, right? You're doing better. I mean, you actually are. So what is, so let me ask the question differently. What does that mean now? You are now better. What does that mean?
Yeah. So, although I am better, I'm definitely still on kind of hyper alert mode, right? When I wake up in the morning, I'm still like checking in with myself, do I have any body aches? Like, how am I feeling? Drinking a glass of water with lemon in it, going on a walk, making sure that I'm not overdoing it, but I'm not. I used to, go to the gym and work out every day. So, I'm not overdoing it. I'm not working out really, just taking walks. But like I did a 5-mile walk yesterday or the day before. And so, yeah, what does it mean for me? It means I'm now talking to a lot of people who have a lot of questions for me, right? Like on Facebook and Instagram, and past clients are calling me, asking me, my sister has a cough. Does she have it? And I'm like, well, I don't know if she has it, but here's the place you should go if you want to get tested. And, one woman hasn't had symptoms for 21 days, at least, I think coming up on 4 weeks. And she still hasn't, her sense of smell still hasn't returned. She's nervous about that. And I was telling her, like, my sense of smell, it took a little while, but it returned. And I'd say it's about like 90% back now. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So basically that means you're on alert a little bit, but you are slowly kind of getting back into whatever your normal is health-wise.
Yeah, health-wise, I'm normal. I don't know what the new normal is for like society and for reintegrating into the community. I know that when I go on walks, I don't always wear a mask like we're expected to do, but it's because I don't think I can get it, and if I do get it, it won't be as bad. And I'm not. I tested negative for coronavirus recently, so I'm probably not giving it to anyone. But also, I'm keeping social distance and not touching anyone. So I have a mask around my neck when I go on a walk, and it's just it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. One last thing I was going to ask you: where is there testing? Do you know any testing in the South Bay area? Is there any testing? I think it's in Torrance, right? There's a place in Torrance.
Yeah, the only place that I know of is called Make You Well Urgent Care in Torrance, and they're now, in addition to testing for coronavirus, also testing for antibodies. So if you got sick in December or January and think maybe you might have had it, but they weren't tests available because nobody was doing that back then, you can call them up and make an appointment and go get tested. There's probably some other places around town. I know that some emergency rooms and other urgent cares, I think Beach City Health District was doing some testing for a while. The Manhattan Beach Shade Hotel, I think, was also doing some, well, they just did it for like one day through a doctor, but that's the only place that I know of that I've sent like 30 or 40 people over there, and I don't make any money. I'm not affiliated with them at all. They were super nice and professional and helpful, and especially when I was in kind of a scary moment in my life. So they handled it great, and just I have nothing but nice things to say about Make You Well.
Good. Greg, thanks for being on the show. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks
And
for having me.
I'm so glad you're doing better. I'm so glad. I mean, seriously, I'm glad you're doing better. And thanks for your service to our community.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Tell people where they can find you on social media if they want to, or your business or anything, so where they can find you.
Yeah, my name's Greg Geilman. So if you just search Greg Geilman, Geilman on Facebook, or G Geilman on Instagram. Our website for my business is DOMO, DOMO, realestate.com.
And I'll post those links on our Facebook page. There's a lot of help. See right there. Cool little hat too. I'm going to post it on our Facebook page. There's a lot of help with James Lott Jr. You can go ahead and find that. And also this podcast is everywhere. It's on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, wherever you find it, on YouTube, GLJ Media, wherever you find it, like, subscribe, comment, share this with anybody you think needs to hear this and watch this. It's a nice perspective from one person's journey with the virus. So let's see what you pass it along to other people at the same time. And you can find me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold, at James Lott Jr. and also some of your platforms. Everyone, please try to stay safe and as sane as you can.